Advertising or anything?
I put some little cards, I'm gonna put it on Craigslist. Here you go. They don't have.
Save you a seat. Figure out what the best way was.
Still not 6 o'clock.
I don't have any idea where we placed it.
You may have that.
Why don't you put a sign up down at the board down the corner? Kind of car you like to try to. Good evening, folks. Good to have everybody here. Before we get started, we're going to have an invocation. I've asked Commissioner Rowland to give that, and then we'll have the pledge of allegiance, and then that time we'll call the meeting to order. So this time, let's all stand. Commissioner Rowland.
Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for this group that's come here to discuss our county business. Lord, we just ask you to keep your hands on us and let us make the decisions that are best for our community and for our citizens. We ask all these things in your name.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. See, this is the appointed hour, and all the commissioners are here. We have a quorum present. I'll call this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners to order. Yes, tonight, normally we have Deputy Wilson here as our security or sergeant at arms. He is out with the flu. We do have Investigative Seconder here. Well, raise your hand. Thank you, Investigative Seconder, for being here tonight. I don't think we'll have to have any security or sergeant at arms, but I just want to let you know that she's here. Normally, they would let you know to please turn off any pagers, cell phones, anything else that you've got on you that might disrupt the meeting. And if you will do that at this time, we appreciate it. At this time, we call the meeting to order, and I'd like to get an approval of the agenda. So we can get a motion to approve. Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Ambrose. Do we have a second? Got a second, Commissioner Amani. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, the agenda has been approved. First item on the agenda is the county business Resco utility easement, formal approval of that. Our county attorney, Ben Vaughn, is going to give us an update on it. Ben, if you would, please.
If y'all recall, a few months back, Resco asked to relocate their sewer easement on the sewer easement they gave under county on their property. The board approved doing that several months ago. The condition that it not require a lift station. We've gotten the certification from Don Carter that it's not required a lift station. Moving the sewer main easement, and the board a few meetings back approved deeding that whole easement back to Resco and not approve the acceptance of this approved.
Got a motion to approve from Commissioner Ambrose. Do I have a second? Got a second, Commissioner Amani. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, that's been approved. Again, if you'll handle that accordingly. Yes. Next item on the agenda is the Harbin Engineering landfill annual contract. Our county manager, Jim Hedges, if you will give us an update on it, please.
Sure will. For the past 8 years, Monroe County has had a contract with Harbin Engineering maxes out at $15,000 a year. This contract is for monitoring, preparing reports, submitting reports, and other professional services at our landfill. He said it maxes out not to exceed $15,000 for the calendar year 2018. It was $14,252. Be my recommendation to the commissioners to renew this contract for calendar year 2019.
Okay, the commissioners have heard the recommendation from the county manager. Do I have a motion? Got a motion to approve. I got a second from Commissioner Evans. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, that has been approved. Jim, if you'll take care of that, please. The next item on the agenda is the Middle Georgia Clean Air Coalition resolution. Let me explain that a little bit for those of you that don't know. The Middle Georgia Clean Air Coalition is a group of 11 counties and the municipalities therein that was formed to help protect Robins Air Force Base because of bad air quality in this area. And the group's done a great job of cleaning it up, getting things down to standards that don't threaten the status of the base, and of course for our public health as well. Currently, I'm the chairman of that Middle Georgia Clean Air Coalition. And as part of that, our group has gotten all the counties in the cities to approve a resolution that states that Middle Georgia Clean Air Coalition will be our procuring agent for anything that has to do with solar energy or LED lighting for the county. And so, because they can get it at a better rate at a discounted price if we go into it as a group. So at this time, we have a resolution here. I can read this, or I can dispense with the reading of the resolution if y'all have all read it. What's the pleasure of the board? Got a motion to approve with dispensing the reading of the resolution. Do I have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just to ask Ben, to make sure are there any legal implications to adopting this that we need to be aware of?
I mean, you'll be obligated to use it as a procuring agent, and that'll be a legal implication.
Before this prior to any work done, we've got the authority to turn it down if we want.
That's right. Good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, the resolution is passed. Next item on the agenda is the Sanders Salter purchase. County Manager Tim Hedges, you have this update on this?
For those out here in the audience, this is where I get to show slides. Sometimes to get a smile. Sander salt spreader. We have one. It's 1978 model, Ford F700. It has major mechanical issues.
You don't say.
I think the clutch has gone out on it. It's the only sand truck that Monroe County has ever owned. It's kind of worn out.
Is it for sale?
Seal bids only. What we want to purchase is not a truck. It's called a drop-in sander. And as you can see, the back of this, he lifted out with a forklift to drop it in. We secured a number of estimates, and these are shown on this slide. The preferred choice is the Highway 10-foot Super P spreader. It has a 4x4 cubic yard capacity. Our Public Works Director likes the fact that, number one, it has 11 horsepower Honda engine, and the controls are inside the cab and not outside the cab. And Junior says it's best to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Funds are included in our 2019 budget. Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Please don't put your pictures of me up. Thanks. All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to authorize the county manager to purchase two. As stated, got a motion from Commissioner Ambrose. Do I have a second? Commissioner Rowland's got a second. Any discussion on this?
Yeah, at least this one we can utilize the truck, this thing sits in and out.
Okay, very good. Well, good. Hearing no further discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, motion passes. Jim, if you'll handle that, please, sir.
We'll certainly do it.
Or have Ginger handle it. Maybe they'll make it happier looking than that picture.
One more funny photo.
Thank you. All right.
Next item is for emergency management services for purchase of an SUV. The preference is for Ford Explorer Police Interceptor Utility. Has all the standard hands-free Bluetooth, heavy-duty brakes, built-in steel intrusion plates in front and back, heavy-duty cooling system. It's all-wheel drive, has heavy-duty 18-inch wheels. The purpose of this SUV for emergency management service is to allow paramedic shift captains. They will utilize this vehicle by increasing the advanced life support coverage throughout the county without the cost of having the fourth ambulance. If you will, what we'll do is completely stock this SUV with everything that's on a regular ambulance. It just won't be able to transport it. We looked at a number of bids. Maybe it'd help if I click the right button. And as you can see, the Ford Explorer is the preferred choice, and I believe it's Brennan Ford that has the lowest bid at $28,895. That is police utility. There is a regular Explorer that's just a little bit cheaper, but they prefer the one that's much heavier duty. It's recommended Brennan Ford down in Unadilla, and funds are included in the 2019 budget. Mr. Chairman.
Good. All right, this time I'll entertain a motion to authorize the county manager to purchase 2019 Ford Police Interceptor. Got a motion from Commissioner Amami. Do I have a second? From Commissioner Ambrose. Any discussion on this?
Yeah, is this part of that vehicle lease thing, or is this going to be a straight purchase out of the EMS budget?
Straight purchase out of the EMS budget.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, motion passes. Jim, if you'll handle that, please, sir. Or have Matt, Chief Perry. All right, what everybody's been waiting on, planning and zoning, public hearings, we're gonna move into those.
Fire.
Oh, sorry, I got a little excited. And I checked one off a little too early. So at this time, award of bid for HVAC and electrical. Jim, you've got the information on that.
I want to thank Commissioner Evans and Commissioner Rowland for working with me on this today. The most important slides are the last two, as we came to a final recommendation sometime this afternoon. 5 bids were received, 2 for HVAC, 2 bids for electrical, and 1 bid was for both VAC and the electrical. And it was somewhat of a can of worms going through all of these bids. Just looking at the HVAC, we had 3 companies bid. We point out that Pro Construction did bid for all of their activities. They're low on the HVAC, but at the end of the day, they had not allocated any of their overhead from the other portion of their bid. So you'll see that amended later in the presentation. The electrical system was a number of components, including the electrical system itself, the fire alarm system, gas piping, some concrete demolition for replacement of where we have the electrical services coming into the building. Piedmont Electrical bid $227,000. They did not include conduits for low voltage systems, fire alarms, data, or telephones. Star Electrical was bidding $294,000. It included a natural gas generator, maybe. The clarification was made later in the day that our bid document stated natural gas, but when you went to the actual plans, it was diesel. Concrete work was not included in this bid, and only the conduit stubs were included for data installation. Pro Construction bid $318,500. It included everything that was asked for in the bid, including natural gas generator, the fire alarm, concrete work, and they saw that duct work had not been added for the data cabling, so they added $20,000 to their bid. This is a summary of the air conditioning bids. This is a summary of the electrical bids. This is where we came down to. In talking with Piedmont, their bid of $227,485 would be reduced by $6,625 by the release of bond requirement on the HVAC. Pro Construction stepped up and said we could provide the HVAC, the fire alarm, the gas piping, the cabling, but we would ask you that we provide, the county provide the dumpsters as well as the elimination of the bond. That brought the total bid down to $231,119. We're at a critical point in the construction of the new fire headquarters. Everyone knows that we've bid this out 2 or 3 times. We need to award these bids so they can get in, do the work, which will enable us to bring back the Department of Correction construction workers. Mr. Chairman, this is the recommendation.
Commission, y'all have a motion, suggestion here, award electrical to Piedmont, $220,860, and the HVAC, fire alarm, gas piping, cable, and pro construction, $230,119. Do I have a motion to do so? So moved. A motion from Commissioner Rowland, do I have a second? Commissioner Evans. Move into discussion. Any discussion on this?
So we're splitting the HVAC, okay, that seems like a good move. As far as like just the history of the companies, I saw the note about one that didn't have a website or FTP access or something. Do you feel solid about these companies and their website?
After discussing this with representatives from engineering and from the architect, I could not get onto their website because I don't have a login. There's a special site that you go to log in to get the file transfer protocols. I'm just not authorized to go to that site.
Where is Pro Construction from?
Macon,
It looked like they're all bidding on different things.
they are. And some bid on what they were a specialty at, others bid on what they thought they could accomplish. Some of them were feeling I'm not in that business, so I'm not going to bid for it.
Did they give our locals a chance to go back and bid on that sprinkler and all stuff too?
There was, I think it's in the packet of the actual bid tabulation when they were open, and there's a notation in there of the companies that did not submit a bid. Some of them were local.
All locals were notified. So the final fee is going to be
I know Eddie and Larry, y'all been working on this and y'all feel good about it?
Yes, sir. We spent about an hour on the phone call, going over it, making whatever changes we can make.
Further discussion? Got a motion and a second, no further discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, Jim, you'll make necessary arrangements to get that handled, we appreciate it. All right, now, what all y'all been waiting for, public hearings, planning and zoning. The first one, first public hearing, we've got a planning and zoning officer, Zanita Bice, he'll come up and go over the first one here at Unionville Road.
Want to do open the public hearing first, or go over it first?
Yeah, well, that's right, I need to entertain a motion to, move in the public hearing, got a second from Commissioner Evans, all in favor? All right, we're now in the public hearing, and you'll give us your information.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, our first one is Mr. Jeff Hoy. It's a conditional use in industrial. The property address is 266 Potesbury Road. The tax map parcel number is 1110328.
Hold on real fast, Anita. You said Mr. Hoy?
Yes.
I've got Unionville Road as our first one, so.
I'm going by the list of the planning and zoning meetings. So you want to do Unionville first?
Yeah, well, we approved the agenda as this one, so you understand, if you would. So I'm sorry, Mr. Hoy.
Okay, well, let's go to Unionville.
Let's get the Unionville Road up, yeah.
All right, then, Unionville Road rezoning to residential.
Okay.
This is property address 695 and 698 Unionville Road, map parcel number 1452 and 1461. This is pulled up, you see this triangle piece here, and then across the street, the other triangle piece. So currently, both properties are zoned agricultural. They're about 3 acres each. The property and is owned by the same property owner. What he would like to do is for each one, split them into about an acre, acre and a half each. So the 2 parcels will then become 4. As you all know, an agricultural minimum lot size is 3 acres, residential it's 1 acre. So he would like to split it, he would like to change it to residential so he can be in compliance with residential and for his lot size and put houses on. The Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval.
Very good. All right, you can come on up, but real quickly, just a couple of housekeeping notes for this hearing and for any ones in the future. What we'll do is the applicant will come and speak first, and then anybody else who wants to speak for will also be allowed to speak. The state law talks about, correct me if I'm wrong, talks about allowing each for or against to speak up to 10 minutes. Because we have such a big group tonight, what I would always ask is that if you would, whoever wants to speak is welcome to speak. But once you've heard a point made that you want to make, understand that we've heard it and that we've got it noted, and so we'd like to keep it moving. But we do want to get people heard, need to be heard. So, well, so right now, I understand. So at this time, I will ask that question. Is anybody here to oppose this, the Unionville, rezone as a residential? If you want to speak for it for just a minute, you're welcome to. Otherwise, I think that's a good point. We can move on through to.
Even that one.
That's right. Yeah, I like that. You can move on. So we'll make a motion. I'm going to take a motion to come out of the public hearing.
Motion come out of public hearing.
Got a motion to come out of the public hearing. Got a second, Commissioner Rowland. All in favor? All right, now, we're back in the regular.
Motion to go from P and Z board. Approval.
Okay, and a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Got a second, Commissioner Rowland. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? I'm sure that's the easiest one here tonight. That's right. The next item on the agenda, public hearing for River Edge Behavioral Health. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to move back into a public hearing. Got a motion, Commissioner Evans, got a second, Commissioner Ambrose, all in favor? All right, we're back in the public hearing. Spice?
Oh, she's finished with that? She's gonna just move on? Is this the time to ask a question about the, that, or do I wait?
So we're right now, we're about to discuss the River Edge Behavioral Health. Ms. Weiss is going to give everybody the rundown, the information, and the recommendation from the planning and zoning, and then for and against, we'll be able to speak in just a minute. Okay? Go ahead, Ms. Weiss.
River Edge Behavioral Health, this is a conditional use in agricultural request. Property address is 1962 Zellner Road, tax map 1510U. River Edge Community Service Board owns a 2.99 acre tract, it's highlighted in blue there, on Zellner Road, agricultural. They're requesting a conditional use to build a personal care home for adults with disabilities. It's a stick-built structure, would resemble a single-family home. P&Z Board recommended approval for this application.
All right. We got someone here to speak for River Edge. Jim?
Hello. At the zoning board, I had to give my address. I'm a Monroe County resident and reside at 165 Homestead Circle. I also have the privilege of leading River Edge Behavioral Health Center. I'm Dr. Shannon Gordon. And our intention is to provide permanent residence for up to 4 adults with intellectual disability. These individuals will have 24-hour a day, 365-day a year OLAKE staff to provide supports to them to enable them to live independently in the community. We have applied for funding to construct this home. And I apologize, I didn't bring pictures of some of our other properties because that was part of the zoning board presentation. I made a false assumption or an inaccurate assumption it would be part of this presentation as well. We have a number of homes in Macon-Bibb and a number of families with adults with developmental disabilities have asked us to develop resources for their adult children for when they pass away. And so that's our intention. I welcome your questions.
Commissioners? Questions?
So, I mean, just given the fact, I make a point not to go to PNC meetings so that we don't influence their decisions. That's kind of, and if I do go, I won't say anything, but would you mind, did you share like a presentation, or do you have a little more that you expanded on about it? Or?
There were pictures of homes that we currently operate that were part of the slideshow here. And we are purposeful about integration into the neighborhood. And it's based on universal design principles so that individuals who have ambulation challenges can reside there until they pass away.
Okay. Any further questions? Okay. All right, thank you for now. Be ready for any questions that anyone else may have. Did someone want to speak against?
No, I just had questions for them to, I live two properties down.
Okay, if you would, come on up.
Oh, I didn't really
Sorry.
want to come up, but I just wanted to.
If you would, state your name and your address.
My name is Lynette Z. I live 2041 Zelma Road, which is 2 parcels down. And I was just curious, I guess, as to the safety factor of the community of people, like would it change the, like are they coming from prison or, like.
They're not. I mean, I'm looking at,
No, I'm just, it's safety, I mean,
Absolutely.
and I walk a lot, and I want, to still have that feeling of safety on that road. And, and with this new community of people, if they were, was there any security going to be in place? That was what I was.
Stay right there for a second, and let me ask just a couple of quick questions. First, in your history, have you had any incidences of anybody, for example, in Bibb County, of any safety issues?
We have not had any issues with adults with developmental disabilities being aggressive or inappropriate.